Hi, and welcome to Astonishing Light. Spirit asked me to sit down today and share a message with you. So we invite in the divine to speak to us, tell us what it is we need to know at this time. Oh, okay. Apparently, we're doing tarot, which I was not expecting, but I do have a deck here. So I guess we'll do that. Spirit is acknowledging that the energies at this time are very jumbled and kind of chaotic, and is encouraging you is encouraging you to drink more water and get more rest. Thanks, Spirit. Good parental advice. All right, let me shuffle. Spirit is also reminding me to let you know about your light. I mean, that's the whole point of the channel, right? But to remind you that your light can never be extinguished, can never go out. It's your true essence. It's who you really are at your core. And you don't ever have to be afraid that someone can affect it or take it from you. That wouldn't be possible at all. You don't have to be afraid. There you go. That's the whole message. You don't have to be afraid. Oh, okay. I'll just stop being afraid. Right? Why don't you give us a little bit more to go on, Spirit? What do you have for us today? What is it that you want us to know? Oh, okay. All right. Spirit, can you give me just a little bit more, please? Sorry, two cards fell out, and I want to get at least three. Okay. You know, I had not used this deck enough to notice the symbology in the wands, and I kind of love it. All right. First card out is the Four of Pentacles, which came out with death, of course. Death has been coming up a lot for me. In some decks, death is known as death and transformation or death and rebirth. And that's because death isn't an ending, it's moving from one state to another. Like it's a changing of shape. Because as I said before, your light never goes out, but the form your light takes might change. I've gone through so many rebirths in this one body alone. But this Four of Pentacles here with death is telling me that you're clinging to something, that you're holding on. Like I'm seeing a portal that leads to the unknown. And so, of course, that's scary. And to you, it might feel like a black hole that's trying to suck you in. And that's why you're clinging so hard to anything to keep yourself here. But Spirit is asking you to remember that here is not all that great or all that stable right now and is continuing to get less stable. And if you allow yourself to move through the portal, you will be pleasantly surprised by what's on the other side. Let's move to these other cards that fell out. We have the Ten of Wands, the Two of Wands, and the Page of Swords. The wands in this deck are represented by snakes, and I kind of love it because snakes really represent transformation. They represent the shedding of the skin, which is a rebirth of its own. Have you ever hurt yourself and had to grow back some skin? you'll know that the skin that grows, the new skin, is so tender and so vulnerable. And so what's coming through right now is that spirit wants you to remember that you are growing new skin. Ooh. That's going to be really important for somebody. I hope they watch this. But when you grow new skin, you're still going to be tender and vulnerable and sensitive there for a little bit. And so be kinder to yourself than usual. I think we could all stand to be kinder with ourselves. But the Ten of Wands indicates feeling overburdened. It's the end of a long cycle. But to be honest, what I'm drawn to here is the picture on this card. She is holding these white snakes. And the fact that they're white means that they are definitely representing some sort of inspiration or some sort of growth because of the way that they use color in this deck. And so not only is she not overburdened by the snakes, she seems to be completely fine with them. And she has this circle above her head, which is reminding me of like in cartoons, comics, when someone gets an idea and they get a light bulb over their head. It feels like, yes, she's carrying all these burdens, but the burdens are actually giving her wisdom. They're giving her insight. They're giving her inspiration. And Wands is the suit of inspiration. And so this to me speaks of the end of a long cycle in which you have felt burdened, but your burdens are helping you move through the portal with wisdom and insight. And you can turn them into fuel to help you on the next part of your path. So that came out with the Two of Wands, which interestingly enough does have two snakes, but also has two wands. Imagine that. The Two of Wands is generally someone who has come up with an idea, they're ready to start the idea, and they're just about to initiate their plan. They're still in the planning stage. But it's interesting that we've skipped right over the 1. We've gone from the 10 to the 2, which to me says you already know the next stage. You know kind of what it's about and what the theme is going to be, and you're already planning for it. You're just a little bit afraid to make that leap. And that's okay, because we have the Page of Swords here. And the page is the lowest of the suit cards. The page is still learning. And the Page of Swords is still doing her research. Gender doesn't matter in the tarot, but this Page of Swords is female. So that's why I said her. Apply it however it resonates for you. We're accepting of all genders here. The Page of Swords is this movement that she's making makes me feel like she's still testing her skills. She's swinging the sword like she's getting used to it, like she's not fully ready to fight with it or to use it deftly. Is the word that's coming through? Generally, for me, the Suit of Swords is about cutting through illusion and speaking precisely. And so, because she's still a child at the page, she's still learning and doing her research. She's still figuring out how to use her mind, her thoughts, her words skillfully. And I think that's an important thing for all of us to learn. We're always learning, aren't we? So, Spirit, can you tell us more about this portal, this transformation? What information can you give us about this transformation and why we need to know more about it today? The deck that I'm using is called the White Newman Sacred Animal Tarot. Not that you can see me shuffling. I haven't figured out the camera aspect yet. But I'm going to try to take pictures and see if this reading actually makes it online. I'm practicing. Spirit, what is it you want us to know about this transformation? Okay, thank you. Okay, we have the Five of Cups. We have the Tower, the Nine of Cups, and the Queen of Cups. Okay, the Five of Cups. There's been a loss. And generally, the Five of Cups is being sad that some of the water has spilled and not noticing that some of the cups are still upright, or at least focusing so much on the spilled water that you're losing sight of what you still have. But on this card, she is actively spilling one of the cups, which to me is a very powerful image. The cups are the emotions suit, and generally the Five of Cups is about maybe a setback in love or losing a little bit of someone or of a relationship. But to me, when she's consciously, intentionally pouring out the cup, she's making an active choice about what relationships she wants to keep in her life. Probably which ones nourish her, because water helps us to grow. And she probably wants to keep the relationships that help her bloom and let go of those that drain her. Because when we're in the right relationship, we feed each other. There's no loss because it's an equal pouring into one another. So we have the Five of Cups, which came out alone, and then these three came out together. So we have the Tower, which is usually not people's favorite card in the tarot because it usually signifies a sudden change, upheaval, and the crumbling of something we thought was solid. But the tower falls because it was built on unstable foundation. And it was going to fall anyway. It was destined to fall because it wasn't sturdy. And hearkening back here to the Four of Pentacles, I think about how if we're ready for it to fall, we can use that. What is that called? Oh, wow. When I'm channeling, I am not in science brain, but we can push off of that energy of the tower falling and use it to launch ourselves forward. Because of the Five of Cups in this deck being an intentional removal of some of the emotional energies in her life, it makes me think that this tower is not unexpected. There's an understanding that releasing these relationships will probably cause some sort of shift in our life. Wow, this is a really funny reading. I hope everybody that this reading is going to apply to is watching this video. Yeah. She's pouring out these old relationships that don't serve her anymore. And part of her life is falling apart because of it. But she caused this tower herself. And there might be some grief while the tower is falling, because you did like the tower at one point. But you also know, it's funny how sometimes towers are built to protect ourselves, and then in a lot of the stories, they're actually a prison. So perhaps we are releasing parts of our lives that we once chose for ourselves, hoping that they would be built on a firm foundation, and then realized that they had become our prison And so we are freeing ourselves. Because then we have the Nine of Cups and the Queen of Cups. The Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment. This man is very happy about having accomplished his Nine of Cups. There's two fish jumping in the air behind him, which probably means the fish are happy, although to me, I'm like, they can't breathe. But the fish also have above them another circle of light, like in the Ten of Wands. So again, there's illumination, there's wisdom here. It's almost like it's blessed by spirit. Yes, you are receiving your wish fulfillment. You are accomplishing exactly what you wanted to accomplish. And all is well. Because you are the Queen of Cups. Remember, gender means nothing here. The Queen of Cups has the only cup in the deck that has a lid on it because she knows to protect her energy. She knows not to share her energy with anyone and everyone. Her energy is valuable. Her love is precious, and she shares it with those who deserve it, who prove themselves worthy, those who also pour into her. The Queen of Cups is highly intuitive, very nourishing, very loving, but also still discerning, which I think is a point a lot of people miss about her. So there's a shakeup. We've gone through something that probably fell apart, but we got what we wanted out of it. Probably in this case, freedom. Definitely in this case, wisdom. So that the next time that we share our cup, we're going to share it with the right person. Spirit, what advice do you have for the viewer? What advice do you have for us today in this situation? So I think for some of you, it's ridiculous for me to think that there's multiples of people watching this video, but it seems like perhaps some are making the choice to move forward because they know that they will be happier after the tower falls. And some are still on the far side of the portal, ready to make the leap, preparing to make the leap, but still clinging to their past life. We're on a threshold, which makes a lot of sense given the astrology at this time. I don't know a lot about astrology, so you're going to have to look it up yourself. But from what I read, it's a doozy right now. What advice do you have for a spirit? What advice do you have? You have advice for a spirit? I think obviously the advice is plan, practice, trust, surrender, be discerning. Those seem to be the things that are coming through in these cards. But what additional advice, actual advice do you have for us, Spirit? Come on, Spirit. You know you have advice for us. You know you want to talk to us. The way you called me here. Okay, maybe the advice isn't in this deck. Let's move to the Oracle deck. This Oracle deck is the Dreamgate Oracle. Beautiful. I love it. What guidance, advice do you have for us, Spirit, as we prepare to pass through the portal, cross the threshold, move into transformation? Well, as the cards fell out of the deck, I heard trust your own inner guidance. So that's your primary advice. But the cards that fell out are multiverse, expand your mind, quantum travel, the big picture. That's a nod to me, Spirit. The second card is sanctuary, curate your realm, sacred space, altar, haven. And the third card is move with grace, optimized light, inner and outer forgiveness. Ooh, that was an interesting rush of energy. Let's talk about that one first because I don't want to lose this train of thought. When I read the words inner and outer forgiveness, I felt a rush of light and I thought about the term optimized light. And I realized that by forgiveness, Spirit meant stop carrying these old burdens, these old stories, these old grudges, not because the other person deserves to be freed from them, but because you deserve to be freed from them. You deserve to not carry them into this new chapter of your life. You deserve to unburden yourself. You didn't need to carry these. They were never yours to carry. And you can free yourself from them by deciding to set them down and allowing, oh, that's an interesting thing. In allowing spirit to take over and trusting that the universe has its own process of bringing us that which matches our vibration, which some people call karma. We can trust that those who harm us are not ours to punish, but by continuing to hold the memory of what they did to us, we're actually punishing ourselves. This is very interesting. I'd never had it shown to me this way. I'm going to read from the book. Move with grace. Optimize light, inner and outer forgiveness. Celebrate yourself. Full heart, full spirit. The dictionary definition of grace is of a noun that refers to elegance, refinement, and beauty in movement or action. It can also refer to a favor or kindness shared beyond what is due or expected, or a state of being that is blessed by the divine. Being in grace means sharing a tender vulnerability from a place of spiritual integrity without expectation. Your inner frequency contains the brilliant architecture of your soul. When this card is revealed, you are encouraged to dive into the grace that you hold within. Tune into your life force and claim the keys that guide you to your highest, most optimal self. We are living through an evolutionary era where only what is true, authentic, and aligned with love will remain strong and sustainable in the long run. Everything we cling to from a place of fear will fade away and fall to the wayside. All that moves away from grace is directed and formed through resistance. That's really interesting because I feel like it touches on a few things that came up here, like the clinging and the knowing that we're moving into an evolutionary era, but also the fact that it's our resistance alone that causes us to experience disharmony. Like our resistance to the tower falling makes the destruction more painful when we could springboard into the future instead. Or at the beginning, when Spirit was telling me to remind you that your light is unquenchable because no one can ever take it from you. And it's only your fear that that could happen that makes you experience anything close to that. When you know that your light cannot be stolen from you, you can't be afraid of that happening. Let the internal forces within you gently adjust as you continuously learn to move with even more grace through your thoughts, your choices, and your daily self-love. Over time, you may have learned that what you authentically share is a reflection of your soul, and that there's no need to hide your beauty anymore. As you do this, you are safe to be expressive and open your heart to the world. Continue to collect the experiences that best serve your growth and spirit. Learn to forgive yourself and others. Holding on to resentment will only force you to swim against the tide. Let your waters be calm and move with gentle grace. Every moment you experience, every belief you hold, every word you share, all add up to write the beautiful story of your life. As you move through these chapters, try and remember the best way to navigate your steps. Find joy in the liminal moments. Laugh as often as you can as you invoke more joy. As you love yourself in grace, you are also able to love others as well. Don't forget to play and celebrate your childlike wonder. Let go of what closes you off from life. Take the frivolous details less seriously. They are fleeting after all. Reclaim the peace that is your divine birthright. How would you like to refine your movements? The affirmations here are: I move with integrity, and I act, speak, and express with kindness. And I'm hearing a very clear message to make sure that you are acting and speaking to yourself with kindness as well. So let's look at multiverse. Expand your mind, refine your focus. Portal, what's this on here? That's so funny. It doesn't say it on the card, but it says it in the book. Portal, quantum travel, the big picture, macrocosm. A galactic highway opens into the deep void of space, carving its path through a nursery of stars. Here, the great cosmic womb grants you access to a new world ahead. This is a place that is still unknown and unobserved. What discoveries await you just beyond this heavenly bridge? This is so fun. I love when the cards come out and they verify or confirm something from earlier. Today, there are theories that our universe is just one member of a larger, much larger assembly of universes that create the multiverse. This suggests that our universe alone, with its infinite stars and hundreds of billions of galaxies and planets spanning across vast light years, may not be the only one that exists. As you connect with this card, you are encouraged to flex your vision toward a more expansive way of seeing things through the wider lens of your imagination. Shift your focus away from the frivolous details that keep you disconnected from the bigger picture. Try softening your gaze and looking beyond the horizon of your earthly bubble. As you broaden this perspective over time, take notice of what you truly value as sacred within the sweet orchestration of your life. Perhaps there is more to be revealed. If you need a gentle reminder, try spending some time with the stars at night. They also help remind us of the impermanence of things and that life is to be lived as fully and brightly as possible. The multiverse key is a portal into portals. This is amazing. It is a vortex for your eyes, but also your higher awareness, reminding you that you are also part of the great cosmic tapestry of the universe. Let go of the distractions that keep you feeling small. You are, after all, a brilliant reflection of the divine, and you are here to grow and learn in this earth school. Even through the hard lessons and mistakes, you are continuously refining your inner light. Remember all the gifts that you are carrying with you. Release all that holds you back or wastes your precious time. As you adjust your focus on the world around you, take note of what fuels your own soulful evolution. Step back and look beyond the mundane aspects of your days. You are being invited to go inward and onward. You are learning to move along your path with more intentional grace. Dive into the infinite wisdom that is always available to you through the portal of your heart and the doorways of the multiverse. I am ready to discover my own cosmological truths. I see the greater picture. This is touching on things we've already talked about so far today and things that Spirit was talking to me about privately that may or may not become another video later. But it's important to remember that our existence here is not purposeless. We came here for a reason. And that reason was not to worry or to be afraid. It was to remember who we really are and express ourselves in our own unique way. There's also a secret message here about soul family and how they support us, even from a distance, even if we don't know them yet in this lifetime. Their souls and our souls are old friends. And when we come back together, we're always happy to see each other. The final card is Sanctuary. Curate your realm, sacred space, altar, haven. A stunning sanctuary filled with roses and blooms invites you in to luxuriate in your own devotional heart space. There is a delicious magic that unfolds when you can translate your heart into your own beautiful sacred spaces. No matter how great or small, no matter where they may be or how much they encompass or hold, these reflections of soul can offer beauty and tranquility. Curating your own temple or touchstone of devotion lies in the power of intention and your blooming essence. Whether through a physical representation of your inner world, an altar you would like to build, a creative roadmap of your work, or a warm, inviting place for your family and friends, let it be a sanctuary where you can deepen into the realm of spirit and joy, where you feel safe and secure to express your true nature. This card shares a celebration of you and all that you have worked for. It is a warm acknowledgement of the love that fills your life, offered through a ritual of tender appreciation. You are now being invited to give your home some love, or to create a little corner of serenity for your heart. Allow this backdrop to be a place where you rejoice in your dreams. Let it be a vessel where you pour soothing light into your life. Perhaps you would like to add your own special elements, flowers, photographs, candles, seashells, or other personal items that hold reverence and meaning. Here you may even include your journals or oracles to set a foundation for your dream work, rituals, and meditative practices. Let it be a place that you can return to intentionally recharge or regroup. Creating a warm, clear, and inviting space for yourself can also be very helpful for the nourishment of your sleep. If you are currently feeling stuck or bogged down, identify the areas in your surroundings that may be cluttered or overwhelming and form a plan to simplify the flow. How is your sleeping temple at this time? Through the process of reorganizing your sacred spaces, you are creating room for new inspiration to flourish. This also allows you to let go of what no longer serves you by embracing a new sense of possibility within your realm. Let this practice lighten your heart and strengthen your dreams. Let it be a mirror of your desires and aspirations. I love reflecting my heart into the spaces I inhabit. I find magic and fulfillment in my creative surrounding. So I think the message here, the advice is to move with grace through the portal and create your own sanctuary. On the other side of this portal is the opportunity to create a space that truly reflects you. Maybe a physical space, it may be an inner space. I have both sacred spaces in my home and in the astral that I visit regularly. There are also places in nature that are sacred to me, and I like to visit them whenever I can. But when we cultivate sacred spaces in our day through rituals or in our world, inner and outer, it's like we have little rest spots where we can pause and restore ourselves from source. The future doesn't have to be scary, and transformation can bring wish fulfillment. So we shouldn't cling to fear. We can move safely into the future when we create sanctuary within our own soul. And soon we can create sanctuary in our external world to reflect that. It seems this message is complete, so I'm going to end this video here. But I thank you for staying through this, and I hope it helped you. And please remember that you are always loved.